Critical warning to the doggy holders of the world, and it looks like doggy is about to initiate the move as we do have the silver cross to the downside, and we do see hidden bearish evidence on weekly RSI plus weekly Joule getting a downside signal fresh as of last week. And this is all within the context of very low BBWP. So this move very likely looking for an explosive, in my opinion, probably downside continuation. The only way that I would invalidate that and actually get quite bullish on this thing would be any sort of a move higher, and especially a closure higher on a daily above not last week's high, but the 25th of April, which was 1708. Above there, I would look for big bad moves up to 25 cents plus in the following months. But ultimately, I do believe that this one is a lot more likely to continue on with the downside trend here that it's been in for basically a year now, actually. And I would be looking for the general bounce, over the next couple months after another continuation. First, after retesting these lows from February, which is around 10 cents, and then after a little bit of a bounce there, I would be looking for the next few months to trade back towards about 7.5 cents or so. So doggy rolling over. Let's see what we have over here. I'm just curious if this lines up with what I'm saying. Daily, still downside pressure below about 1278. So again, short term probably setting up for a bounce relatively soon. I don't think it's going to fall through the cracks like exactly through here. 5 days, so higher term time frame, still showing great pressure down below about 1478. Weekly is major pressure down below 1350, and that is also playing out a trendline regression rejection here, and also within the bearish control zone. So I do look at that as very likely over the next few months here to trade down, probably south of 10 cents. The only invalidation that I'd have for that is with a move above 1708. At that point, I get quite bullish. Monthly, as you did request, Mr. Tokyo Channel, again, I think that this one probably puts in a wick down somewhere just south of 10 cents, between about 7, 8 or so, something like that. Tries for a bounce there. To be fair on the macro, if you do want to give doggy its due diligence, it does hold its macro higher lows, but you have higher lows as long as you're above on the macro scale, as long as you're above 0.0026. So, theoretically, it could be a long way down. I do expect a big bounce again somewhere around here. And then come back to it after that. If this area does fail below about 7.5 cents, then at that point very likely looking below 3 cents in the following months. It's probably more about where it belongs, to be quite frank, but hey, it's going to take some time, and that's quite far away to begin with, so I shouldn't actually talk about that just yet. That's more of an if statement rather than a statement in general. In this case right here, I think that you got one more short-term move to the downside, very likely tries for a bounce somewhere off these like 10-11 cent lows. Probably another lower after that, could trade up towards like 12 to 13 cents. And then I'd be looking for it to take the next major leg down. Heavily bearish as long as you're below, again, 17 cents or so. So hopefully that was helpful, and they're good for Dogecoin, sir.